Hi, welcome back to Messy Missy Creates. This is Melissa. I am working in my junk journal today. This is the one I made in January. I made it for the Collage Weekly Prompts by Margaret Miller. And I'm actually just working on week 2. I've only done one. A little behind, but that's okay. This is kind of you can do it at your own pace. So this one kind of stumped me a little bit. Maybe that's why it's taking me so long to do it. But this is, the prompts are right here. It says your least favorite color, which would be purple. A sewing notion, something out of the recycle bin, a foreign language, a tea bag cover, and the bonus is a fiber, yarn, or string. Now, the way this works is you can use all of the initial 5 prompts and the bonus, or you can use the bonus instead of one of the other. So I don't know which I'm going to do yet. I'm going to just kind of tuck this right here, or set it right there. I think I'm going to work on this page. This was my week 1. If you haven't seen that, if I remember, I'll link the video to it. You know, it makes sense just to go in order. I'm not sure that I'm gonna like this page with this page, but anyway, I'm not gonna get hung up on that. I'm working on this yellow piece of paper right here, and that actually works pretty well with what I'm gonna be doing. You say gold and purple, huh? Okay, well, okay, this is what I have to work with. I pulled out, obviously this ties the gold and the purple. It's just an envelope. I don't know if I'm gonna make it work. It doesn't go this way, and that aggravates me. And if I use it, you know, as an envelope and put a tag in it, I don't know. Anyway, we'll see. But it matches. So this could be my something out of the recycle bin. This could be something out of my recycle bin. It is, if you are not familiar with Mardi Gras, it is Mardi Gras season here where I live in the South. And it's a pretty big deal. I mean, we have big towns, cities, whatever, that actually shut down for this whole next week for parades, and they've been going on the whole month of February. But anyway, I have Project Life card if I want to make a tag. I have another one here somewhere that had polka dots. If I decide to use that, it has the purple and the gold. Don't know if I'd like it. Obviously, I'd have to, you know, hide that maybe. But that's an option. I have this little snowflake. It's just a punch that's cut out of probably something similar to this. So that's on standby if I can't make this work. The tea bag cover, I have no idea how I'm going to use that. I know how to use them in some, you know, more like in my art journal maybe. Anyway, I have some cardstock if I need it. You know, if I need it to back there's a piece of gold cardstock under there. If I need to back something, those don't match exactly. I have some cards, some vintage plain cards. That one's purple. That might be the easier thing to do. And then I have for the foreign language, I have these Russian vocabulary cards, these vintage vocabulary cards, and they're pretty cool. So I thought that I might start, baggage luggage might work. I was thinking these would be big enough for a tag, but poor and fortunate, I don't know, we'll see. Ticket might work. I'm just going to pull a couple. Gay, Merry, Joyful. That might actually be the one. Because that kind of describes the Mardi Gras theme, or, you know, anyway. Okay, I'm not going to plunder too long in those, but you get the idea. So, because it's very festive, everybody dresses up. They have the masks, they have a ball, they have parades, they throw things, they throw moon pies, they throw beads. My sister went to one parade a couple weeks ago. They even threw ramen noodles at her. So anyway, it's kind of an anything goes month here, and not so much where I live, but a couple towns over. So it bleeds over, and we do the parades too. But anyway, I'm going to start by, my thought is I might use, because this is one of my pieces out of the recycle bin. So I'm going to see if I can make this work, and that might kind of, you know, inform the rest of the page, so to speak. I can't get rid of the little, this is just an advertisement that they send in the mail. There's like a piece of tape where it was taped in, and I can't quite get rid of that, so I'm just going to have to live with it. I thought that might make a good border. I could use this bottom piece too, but I tried to take that piece of tape off, and it looks really bad. If I need one more piece, I could do this one bottom piece. But anyway, I'm going to just I'm going to try to cut this mask out. Because what I was thinking, and I might just loosely cut it until I know for sure if I'm going to use it. And then I would go back and maybe cut it a little closer. Trim it up a little bit. But I was thinking that might make a good tag topper. So I think just with it cut like this, I can get an idea of the size. I'll put that to the side. I don't think I need it. Obviously what I was thinking is a tag topper, but I might have to use it to cover, and that actually looks very Mardi Gras-ish. The Mardi Gras colors are gold, green, and purple. Purple is not my favorite color. That's probably backwards because my birthday is in February. My birthstone is an amethyst. But I don't like purple. I never got... I mean, I don't despise it. But... And there's some shades of it like this I actually like. I think it's more the lavender or that lilac light purple that I don't like that much. But anyway, oh, and... I have some buttons. I don't have, that's not true. I have plenty of sewing notions. Well, I guess I do. I'm just struggling with how in the world would you fit anything other than buttons. I guess I might have some like bias tape or something. Well, I'm going to pull this gold one. Let me see if I can get one gold and three purples. Okay. Or two gold and, yeah, you get it. So that was the easiest sewing notion I could grab. I did just find this purple and white washi. Anyway, I'm not going to, I don't know if I could put my hands on my thread right at the moment. I was thinking I would glue the buttons down wherever I use them. You know, maybe, for example, I was thinking on this mask, to be honest with you. You know, something like, well, like that. Or on these little feathery looking things. Anyway, I don't have 4 of the purple though, so I'd have to do 2 and 2. Anyway, so that more than, you know, covers my sewing notion. That would cover my least favorite color, covers something from the recycle bin, the foreign language. This is pushing the parameters of, because it's really not a foreign language, but I might, I don't know. This definitely does if I use it. I'm just not real sure how to use all of it together. And I'm not, as you well know, I'm not that well versed in collage. I have not done as much of it as I've done other types of journal and crafty type things. So it doesn't come naturally to me. I will say that this card matches as a tuck spot. So right off the bat, I would do that, to be honest with you. That might have just solved my problem, because I really wanted to use this, and I might still cut this off and use it just in the background, you know, like just for color. So I have that option if I want to use it. I still think this is super pretty, but the polka dot definitely goes with our Mardi Gras theme. Here's what I'm struggling with. Oh, the bonus, the fiber yarn or string, I have a couple different shades of purple embroidery thread. So that would count. And, you know, you would say, you know, okay, sew the button on, and that's, you know, that would be perfect. I don't know right off the top of my head if I could put my hands on a needle. I think I know where they are, but it would take some plundering. So let me see if I can do without it. I don't know. Yeah, I just don't know. So I would like to, I still would like to use that as a topper. You know what? I wonder if I could use this to mute that. Dang, I really wanted to use this. Okay, but that's the side that shows the foreign language. So that might have just answered both of my questions. Now, I did think about, what did I think about? I thought about taking my purple dauber and like coloring this, and I probably could. I should have probably brought 2 of them in. Well, let me see. Because I like that as a tag topper. And then the buttons, I could just put, you know, I don't know. Do you think I need? Maybe I don't. Maybe I just need to do that right there. And just attach it. Because this little card right here covers up the So Fun. And I guess there's nothing that says I have to cover that up. But I have that, and I have this. I don't think this will work independent or by itself. Let me try. All right, I got to get rid of the buttons for a minute because they're sliding everywhere. Okay. So remind me that the buttons are up there. I could probably go ahead and glue that down. Actually, that might work as a tuck spot if I had to have that. That might actually work better. But then what do I do with this? So if I use that back there as just the border, and I don't have to use that at all. Honestly, I could just use this because that's off that recycling. And I was going to see if I attach this, if it would be a good enough tuck spot on its own. I just don't know. Of course, I could put it behind here and not use it as a tag. But, and then go back to this tuck spot. I cannot separate these papers. So are any of you doing the Collage Weekly prompts? I think the CWP did stand originally for Collage Weekly Planner. And that's why I keep wanting to say that. I keep trying to say Collage Weekly Planner. Okay, so if I use the card as a tuck spot, then, that would certainly work. I could staple it here and here, or glue it, whichever. Use that as a tuck spot. I could still just put this in the background like that. It doesn't have to be, or I could put that right there. And before my tea bag flows away, haha, yeah, I think I kind of, maybe like that. Not really. I might just not use the tea bag. Oh, wait, but wait. Okay, so I have used tea bags and filters and things like that in a, not a collage, but a, like as a, but it is kind of a collage, but like art journal collage, where you use like a matte medium or something like that. Okay, I'm pretty sure I'm going to use this. So let me at least attach that. I'm still debating on dyeing this purple. That's what I was doing. I was looking for something plastic. And let's see, just talk amongst yourselves for a second. I have a piece of plastic right here. Here we go. I have a purple dauber, and that way this can be drying. And I might just cut it just on the off chance that I don't like it. Let me see what color this actually is. Make sure we're in the same purple family. Okay. And then I'm going to cut this not quite in half. Okay. I'm going to set this one to the side just in case I mess this one up. And move all my other stuff for a second. All right, let's not ruin the card here. Make sure I don't have hole. There's a hole right there in that packaging. So let me see if I can do this with this. Yeah, that's like super dark. That might have been the better. Spray bottle. Water. See if that works any better. Yeah, that definitely lightened that up a little bit. Oh, I'm gonna make a mess. Oh, I'm already making a mess. But I think I like it. Okay, let's just mop it up. I did not use a brewed tea bag. I debated on it. Let me get a paper towel. Okay. These Viva paper towels are great in your craft room, art space. Well, you got to get them open first though. Anyway, they're very absorbent and they're very soft, and they make great like for mopping up. Sometimes I'll just use the whole roll. And then these right here, because they're durable enough, they you can use these, you know, after you get them all good and colorful, you can use them for collage. All right, let's see if we can do this without tearing it. I think one of the pieces was going to come off anyway. I have a heat gun if I absolutely need to. I hope I'm in frame. But I was going to try not to have to turn on the heat gun. Okay, so I've got it out. I'm going to see if I can drape it over something. or I'll just set it on this paper towel, because I think that actually, see if I can do this without getting purple everywhere. Yeah, it ended up not being quite the same purple as on that, but okay, I'm gonna set this to the side. See if I can wipe my hands a little bit. Bear with me for just a second. Okay, so are you doing any of these collages? Are you current? If you are, I think I jumped off into the new year with, you know, what do they say? My eyes were bigger than my stomach kind of thing. And after not having journaled for over a year, it just took me a little while to get back into the swing of things. So, but that's okay. It's just for fun. All right, so now while that's drying, I'm going to cut this out a little bit better and then go ahead and put it on my tag. The other thing I could do is I could not worry about what this says, and I could just have maybe a little bit of the, ooh, that might actually work. I might have just done all that for nothing. Might be able to have that coming out from underneath the mask and maybe kind of coil up some of that string and have it coming down. Ooh, I might do that. Okay. Yeah. That might actually work. Okay, let me cut this out a little bit better while we're waiting for that other thing to dry, just to see if we want to use it. And okay, so let's see, what was I asking you? I was asking you if you were doing these, any kind of challenge. I see that several of you have joined in on our Inspired to Create collage challenge, and or the, you know, the prompt challenge, and I have enjoyed, totally enjoyed seeing your what you do with the prompts. I think it's so neat to see everybody's different rendition, you know. I think it's just fun. Let's see. All right, so it's so fun. And I'm gonna get, let's see, probably this one. Well, you know, I probably could just cut a little bit off of one of them. I don't have to take all of that off. Just cut that there. I found this way at a thrift store. It was in a big bin of something. That has been so handy. Okay, so I could do something along these lines. Maybe I would do them shorter if I was going to do that. Or, let's see. And then, you know, we'd have to decide, you know, do we still want this as a border or not? Might be too much. Did I still want to use this little envelope flap in the background at all? Maybe not, with the polka dots. But I am thinking that I liked this just as a tuck. I think that makes sense to my brain. Not sure where my little stapler is. I'm gonna find it real. My little tiny Tim stapler. Well, I thought I had everything I needed. Here we go. Because I think I'm gonna staple that too. And, okay, so now I still have to... Yeah, okay. I still have to figure out where this guy fits in. I don't have a backup plan for the foreign language. But, let's see. But I don't know why I couldn't kind of extend my tuck spot like this. I mean, I know that that language doesn't go with the image on the card, but, you know, this is kind of a pretend world, right? So I'm thinking I kind of like that. I mean, I could always fold that over, but that doesn't really serve the same purpose that I'm looking for here. Yeah, I'm thinking I kind of like that. So I think I'm going to glue, let's see. I'm going to find a different card. I know that it doesn't matter, but I know which one she is. And I want a particular one. I want the Queen of Hearts. I like the clubs too, but okay. Hey, if I'm going, I might as well do it. That has always made me think of maybe, is it Alice in Wonderland? The card, I don't know. Anyway, there's some association in my brain with the Queen of Hearts and Mardi Gras. Don't know why. Have no idea. Probably as a kid, you know, the way you view things or whatever. It might have been somebody's costume at a parade that I saw that reminded me. Who knows? Because a lot of people really get into this and they really dress up. We do not. But I don't, you know, as a kid and when my daughter was little, we'd go to the local parades. But I've never really gotten into the, you know, some people, it's like a year-round, because they do this crew of whatever. And, you know, they'll work on their floats and stuff for most of the year. Let's see, what if I do it like this? Yeah, and see, that kind of reminds me of the Mardi Gras streamers. I still want my, it's dry enough that I can see if I like it. Oh, yes, I do. Yes, I do. I do. And I really kind of want that tattered, well, I'm really not going to get that tattered piece. Okay. I can get this tattered piece right here. Let's see. But I do like it. Well, that just makes me happy. So I could cut this string, but I don't think I want to cut it. I want to tack it like right there and right there. Almost like an M. Just so that it looks like maybe bead striping. Actually, I'm going to really complicate things. And I'm going to get a gold piece. Hey, go big or go home, right? That makes me think of something I heard recently. Okay. Just can't remember where I heard it. Maybe it was on something you cut out or something. Might have been Elizabeth. It said, you know, go big or go home, but you really underestimate my willingness to go home or something like that. Anyway, I just thought it was funny. Okay, so if I do that, yeah, see, that makes me think of the floats and all the things. Okay, so let me check. I have my foreign language. I have the thing from the recycle bin. I have my least favorite color is purple. Foreign language tea bag cover. And I have the fiber yarn, the bonus. Oh, I'm missing the buttons. Well, now I'm glad I used the gold thread. I'm thinking, what if I wonder if I could glue those to the ends of the thread. How difficult would that be? Okay, let me start by tacking this down. I was going to staple it on, but I'm going to just put a little dab of glue. A little dab of glue will do you. Okay. So I'm going to just dab some glue right there and right there. Get those to stay on. And maybe. Come on. And then let me straighten up my little tea bag thing. I wonder if that'll be enough to hold that. And then I can staple it too. Hate to put a staple right in the middle of her forehead though. Okay, so I won't. I'll just do that. Okay. Anyway, I gotta glue the whole thing down anyway, so. All right, so, you know, it kind of like, have you ever seen like a masquerade ball or anything like that? Except blingier and some of it's a little risque. Let's just, you know, the nighttime parades. So you have your kids' parades in the daytime, and then, you know. Let me break this plastic back out. And I'm going to see if I can glue these buttons onto the end, because that will look like something. Tweezers. Somewhere. Right here. Right here. Okay. And let's see, would it be better to put I'll put the purple one on the gold, maybe, and the gold on the purple. Probably should have matched them. All right, that might be less messy. Hopefully they don't stick to the plastic. And, I mean, I'm sure it will try to. But I hope I can get it off. If not, then we might have to make the plastic part of the page. Let's see. But I haven't been to one of the parades in a long time. They had, I think, the last daytime one today. I wouldn't have minded. Or no, yesterday, I'm sorry. Well, that's not true. The kids one. And that would probably be the one I'd want to go to. But, you know, doing that would be hard to do. Okay, let me see. I actually would be okay gluing them onto that card though, to be honest with you. So the plastic might have been a little bit of a waste of time. So if I strategically place them where I want them, maybe they will stick. Oh, well, that one already went where it wanted to. Let's see. I guess I shouldn't have even worried about that. So we can come on down with that one right there. Hey, this might actually work. That might be stuck enough. I was hoping that glue would go through that tea bag, and it did. Okay. I think we might have a page. What you think? I might need to put glue or another staple just right along that bottom, just so it gives that a stopping point. And then I have to figure out where to put this. So I might just put that in that corner like that. Wow. Did I do it? I think I did it. Oh man, I should have put some of this down. I do like this. And it's the perfect purple. And like I said, I don't totally, I don't hate purple, but it said your least favorite color, and that is my least favorite color. I don't wear it. Yeah, I think I like that. Kind of gives a little bit of a festive feel and kind of puts, you know, brings some of that color to that side of the page without being too busy. I like that better than, I probably could have gotten it straighter, but I'm thinking that's it. What do you think? So, well, okay. Well, they can flop. That's all right. And I could put this on the back of the card. That would make sense, wouldn't it? Yes, that would make sense. Do I want it down here? Might as well cover up the so fun while we're doing it. Okay. And they are fun. A lot of good, you know, a lot of fun. Okay, so that's the only one that's flapping, so it's going to have to get glued down. And I think it's not liking being behind that. And I might actually just glue, no, I can't glue it now. Well, darn it all. Yeah, I can't glue it down now. It's all right, it can flap. Flap if you want to flap. But yeah, that kind of reminds me of all the beads that you see strung down everywhere, and I don't know if you can see it or not. Anyway, alrighty. Well, that is week 2 of the Collage Weekly Prompt Challenge by Marguerite Miller. Least favorite color, a sewing notion, something out of the recycle bin, a foreign language, a tea bag cover, and the bonus was a fiber, yarn, or string. We've got all 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, and purple is 6. Okay. Alrighty. I might end up going back and gluing that down. I think it's gonna hit every time. And then it flops over, and I don't like. Anyway, but I can fix that later. Alrighty. Well, I will see you next time. And if you do these, I'd love to see them. If you're doing our prompt challenge, if you don't know about our prompt challenge, we've got videos on it. It's inspired to create, hashtag inspired to create _Feb 2023. And, but this one is the Marguerite Miller's Collage Prompts Challenge. So, but I would love to see what you're doing. Just leave me a comment and let me know if you're participating. And let me know what you think. Have a good night. Bye-bye.